think you have enough nerve, baby.
Murder! Homicide!
Give me the city desk.
Hang on, Chief. This'll floor you. Stephen Curtis.
Yeah, that's the guy, the playboy. Killer caught red-handed. Huh? Yeah, only it ain't a him. It's a her.
Who is she? What's her name? What kind of a stupid answer is that? What do you mean she won't tell? What am I going to use for headlines? What name do they book her under?
The state is demanding the life of this girl for the death of Stephen Curtis. But I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, if you send Jane Doe to the electric chair, you'll not be executing her. She'll be committing suicide. Why? I don't know. She has so strongly resisted efforts to find out who she is or where she came from that she must be tried in this court as Jane Doe. Even I am here against her wishes, for she didn't want an attorney. Yes, I know I'll be accused of asking sympathy for my client. I don't ask sympathy for Jane Doe, but I do ask mercy. The district attorney will no doubt...
I warn you against being led into false sympathy by the silence or the youth of the defendant. I ask you to judge her upon what the evidence shows her to be. A girl who wanted another woman's husband so badly, so jealously, that she killed, rather than let Stephen Curtis remain with the woman to whom he was lawfully wedded. You have heard the testimony of Mrs. Stephen Curtis. Without vindictiveness, she testified that she heard the shots and entered the room to find her husband dead at the feet of this girl. But Mrs. Curtis asks only justice, not revenge. And the state asks only justice. And justice demands...
Guilty! Jane Doe found guilty! Extra, read all about it! Jury arrives at verdict in record time! Extra, read all about it! Jane Doe guilty, faces electric chair! Extra, read all...
Jane, time is growing very short. It's life or death. Help me to help you.
Mr. Horton, I don't want to live.
The defendant will rise and face the court.
Jane Doe, you've been given a fair and impartial trial as provided by the laws of the state of New York and found guilty of murder in the first degree. The jury made no recommendation for leniency. Is there anything you wish to say before the court pronounces sentence?
No, there's nothing.
No more distasteful duty can be imposed upon a judge than that which I'm now compelled to perform. This has been an extraordinary case. You've refused to testify in your own behalf. You entered this country under a forged Portuguese passport bearing the fictitious name of Annette Fontaine, making any effort to learn your true identity futile. Perhaps your refusal to divulge your identity and thus shield others from the shame of your crime is praiseworthy, but it cannot condone the crime itself. Therefore, I order that the person of Jane Doe be delivered to the warden of the state penitentiary at Ossining, New York, and that there, during the week of August the 14th, the time to be set by the warden, she be put to death in the electric chair. And may God have mercy on her soul.
What seems to be the trouble?
A psychic shock, brought on by the strain of the trial, a shock of hearing sentence pronounced, grief possibly.
Mm-hmm. Psychic shock, huh?
Yes, sir.
Jane Doe still in there?
Yeah.
I've got an order for removal to Sing Sing.
Well, you'll have to ask your doc when he comes out. He's been in there half an hour.
Okay.
Oh, that was a very good diagnosis.
Well, thank you, sir.
As far as it went. But her shock was not caused entirely by her court experience. This girl is going to have a baby.
Jane Doe, the mystery woman, convicted of the murder of wealthy Stephen Curtis, collapsed today as Judge Bertrand sentenced her to die in the electric chair. Jane Doe is the name given Curtis's beautiful killer by the law when she refused to reveal her true identity or to testify in her own defense. And so, as Jane Doe, she'll go to the electric chair. Just a moment, ladies and gentlemen, just a moment. I've just been handed a bulletin. Further examination by the prison doctor reveals the reason for Jane Doe's collapse this afternoon. She is to become a mother.
Child.
Didn't you take enough of a beating during the trial without listening to all those gruesome details over the radio?
That's what I've been asking her. Only more cleverly, of course. There must be some other way to spoil an evening, I said. But she paid just as much attention then as now.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't listening. Bill, what about that girl?
Well, you can't execute a woman in her condition, so it means an automatic stay until after the baby's born.
Then what?
Jane Doe will see another Christmas and then pay her debt to society. And society will have another orphan to rear in some state institution.
Bill, I need your help. I want to do something while there's still time.
For that girl?
Well, yes, for both.
Oh, look, Eve, you were a lawyer once yourself. You know that's impossible. There never was a more open and shut case of premeditated murder. And a baby won't change that.
Well, one more stop and I'm done.
Done in, you mean? Where next?
Well, something for Bill. I wonder what.
Why don't you get him one of those hand-painted ties, you know, with the big, beautiful... No?
No.
Extra murderess becomes a mother!
What's the matter?
Extra murderess becomes a mother! Extra Jane Doe has a baby! Extra, thanks. Extra Jane Doe faced the electric chair! Extra! Merry Christmas, lady. Extra, read all about it! Jane Doe has a baby!
Visitor.
Hello. Oh, Mrs. Curtis. I have no right to intrude, I know. But I wanted... Well, have you had good care?
Good care? Yes, I guess I've had good care. If that's what you came here to ask. The doctor says I'll be able to get up and walk in a few days.
But you should be careful.
Why? I don't have far to walk. They just call it the last mile.
That was very tactless of me. I'm sorry.
I don't want your sympathy.
Well, I didn't come here to offer it. I'm curious, though. Why didn't you tell them you were going to have a baby? It might have made a difference in the verdict, I mean.
I didn't tell because I didn't want it to be born.
And you realized
You might have taken that baby to the electric chair with you.
Yes.
Well, why would you want to kill him? It was your crime, not his. He has a right to live just as he had a right to be born.
Well, he was born. So now Stephen and I have a memorial. A living memorial. Hating our memories every day of his life. You say he is innocent. But have you any idea what the world will do to him for our sins?
I asked them to bring him in. Is it all right?
Why ask me?
How does he look?
I wouldn't know.
Well,
Here he is. I bet you're anxious for a peek at this young man. But he's your baby and you haven't seen him yet.
I'll take him. Hello, little fella.
You want him, don't you? That's why you came here.
Yes.
Then you'll probably get him.
Oh, he's a beautiful boy, Jane. You look like your mommy. You know that? Same eyes. Maybe the same hair. You're going to be the most handsome young man when you grow up. Oh, those arms and shoulders. What a football player you'll make.
What's the matter with him? You're hurting him.
The only thing that's hurting him is his manly tummy. He's hungry. I'll take him back to the nursery.
No, wait. Look at him. He knows me. But he couldn't know me, could he?
Most children seem to recognize their mothers.
He does have my eyes, doesn't he? And same hair. And strong shoulders. Like my brother. And he'll grow up in this country where he'll play football. Only I'll never. Mrs. Curtis. Mrs. Curtis. Help me, please.
Yes?
Mrs. Curtis to see you.
We'll send her right in, of course. Hello, Eve.
Hello, Bill.
Here, let me take your coat.
Thanks.
What's the matter?
There's something invigorating about just walking into a law office. It has that legal smell.
You watch your language. But drop in and enjoy the odor any time.
Thanks. But I don't think that invitation's going to stand very long.
Now, why not?
I'm going back into law practice, Bill. May I?
Yeah, sure.
And I never was on your side of the fence.
Well, I can't say I'm too surprised, Eve. It'll do you good to get back and... Hey, wait a minute. When are you going back?
I already have.
Ah, must be something sensational. Murder case?
Sensational? Maybe. But not murder. I'm going to reopen the case of Jane Doe.
Well, one look at your face and I can tell you're not joking.
No, I'm not.
But you're crazy, I can tell you that.
Oh, now you're talking like a prosecutor.
But why? Will you tell me why? Why that case? Didn't you get enough public attention during the first trial? Do you have to drag it all out in the open again? Why don't you let Stephen Curtis rest?
I want to save that girl's life. She should never have been convicted.
But she was.
I wasn't the defense attorney then.
And I won't be the prosecuting attorney this time.
Why not? You afraid of me?
You don't think I can oppose you in court with everyone knowing we're friends? I'll have to turn it over to one of my assistants.
That suits me.
Oh, Eve, you're being ridiculous. Supposing you get somebody like Arnold Matson, and you probably will. He eats cases like yours for breakfast. He'll tear you and your client both to pieces and enjoy every second of it. I at least tried to give her every chance.
You thought she was guilty, and so did I.
I didn't think she was anything except what she is. A cold, calculating killer who wanted a man she couldn't have. Your man. Your husband. I can't understand what's happened to you.
Jane Doe has talked, Bill.
She has?
Yes.
Well, what did she say? Let me in on it.
I'm going to.
Good.
In court.
I protest the waste of the state's money in a new, long, drawn-out trial. The defendant had her chance.
Did she, Mr. Matson?
Now, let's not waste our time bickering. I have here an affidavit, Mr. Matson, taken from the doctor who attended the girl. He says that her silence and her refusal to talk could have been another manifestation of the psychic shock which caused her collapse. I want to study it further. You'll have my decision tomorrow.
Is that it?
Yep.
I'm ahead of it. Tough break.
How you making out?
Tough break, did you say?
I think so if it was me. I'd rather face the electric chair any day than laughing boy Matson.
The newspapers have made much of the fact that Jane Doe didn't talk. That she offered no defense for her cold-blooded crime. That she's a victim of her own silence. A new trial was granted. Why? Because Jane Doe says she's ready to talk. Well, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the state says that Jane Doe can talk her head off. Tell her background, who she is, where she's from, the life she's led. But she can't contradict the fact, proved in this same courtroom, that with cold premeditation and with malice in her heart, she shot to death Stephen Curtis.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are sitting as jurors in a court of law. But at the risk of being thought both trite and impertinent, I'm going to remind you that it is also a court of justice. And I ask you to forget that the defendant, Jane Doe, my client, was once convicted of the accusation under which she faces you now. It wasn't a conviction in which the state can take much pride. For the defendant didn't fight back. She had no will to live. She wanted to die. And so, she stood trial and was convicted. It was what she wanted. Life held nothing for her. She had a reason for dying. But now Jane Doe has a reason for living. A baby. Her baby. And ladies and gentlemen, I intend to prove that that baby's mother is not a murderess, not a criminal, not sinned, but sinned against. Call Phyllis Tuttle to the stand.
Who, me? That's me.
Phyllis Tuttle. Raise your right hand. You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Be seated. State your name, please.
Phyllis Tuttle,
Will you state your occupation, please?
attorney at law, associated with the law firm of Eve Meredith Curtis. Just as I was 6 years ago when you fell in love with Steve.
I'm certainly going to object to that, Your Honor.
Sustained. Miss Tuttle, please don't reminisce unless you're asked to.
Were you acquainted with the deceased, Stephen Curtis?
Yes, I'd known him about as long as you had.
Do you remember when he went overseas?
Very well.
I want you to tell the court why you remember the period immediately preceding his departure as it pertains to Stephen Curtis and to myself.
Your Honor, I don't think the court's interested in hearing a resume of the deceased's life as it pertained to the counsel for the defense. It has no bearing whatsoever upon the guilt or innocence of the defendant and is only intended to...
And I must ask the prosecution to refrain from speculating on what I intend or don't intend.
Both of you will please address your remarks to the court. This isn't a private argument. Now then, Mr. Matson, if you have an objection, phrase it properly.
Objection on the ground testimony concerning the deceased and counsel for the defense is irrelevant and immaterial.
Immaterial when my client's life is at stake?
Well, irrelevant.
Your Honor, if I may be allowed to present my case in my own way, I'm certain you'll agree that all of the testimony I shall place in this court's record will be relevant.
Objection overruled. Proceed.
I want you to begin with the morning you last saw Stephen Curtis before he went overseas.
What if I don't remember?
You remember. You're under oath.
Yes, I do. I thought I'd found the two happiest people on earth. Hi, Trudy.
Good morning, Miss Tuttle.
Thanks, honey. Is Curtis in?
Yes.
Steve, get out of here. No, stop. You've got to get out of here. No, really.
You're going to get used to this one.
Hi, Barrister.
Morning, Phyllis. I was just telling him I've got work to do.
Why doesn't anybody put work like that on my desk in the morning?
Well, the place is getting cluttered up. Maybe I better get back to the base.
Oh, don't let me rush you. I just love to watch.
Hold us till tonight. I'll give you 2 for it. See you at 6.
5.
4.
Check.
Check.
Goodbye, Dreamboat.
Isn't he wonderful, Phil?
That stuff gets worse, doesn't it?
Yep. The patient shows no sign of recovery.
I don't think the patient wants to get well, does she?
No, I should say not.
And you don't want Steve to be cured of you either, do you?
You really like Steve, don't you, Phil?
Like him? I love him.
Well, you're always intimating, well, he's a...
No, I'm not. I'm just intimating he's a man. And a beautiful man. And women go for him like baboons after bananas. I just don't want you to get hurt.
Steve will never hurt me, Phil. His days of being interested in babes or baboons ended when he married me. I just think you want me to give up the office and stay home.
Well, I just think you should be either Eve Meredith attorney or Mrs. Curtis housewife.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
Ladies and gent, kid all you want. I've said it before and I'll say it again. One head with 2 personalities is as bad as one personality with 2 heads. Both freaks, honey. Do you want your husband or do you want your career?
If the court please, can't I have both?
Sure, for a while. And then one day you'll wake up and find while you were watching your husband, somebody stole your law practice. Or vice versa.
Never vice versa, Phil. Never.
Mr. Hilton for Miss Meredith. I'll be with you in a moment. Take your time. Mr. Hilton, Miss Meredith calling. Whom did you wish to see? Whom? Miss Meredith. I guess that's whom. Well, she's talking on the phone just now. Perhaps if you could tell me about her...
I would, honey. But I get so tired of telling it over and over. So I'll tell it to her direct.
All right, Bill. Bye.
I'm sorry, Miss Meredith.
Don't be sorry, honey. I've got work for her. Hello, Miss Meredith. I haven't much time, and I had to talk to you about a case. A legal case.
Won't you sit down, Miss...
Margaret Jane Hastings.
Margaret Jane, is that your legal name?
No, of course not. But where would Sophie Schleppenhammer get you in show business?
Show business?
Well, any kind of business. And I think we ought to talk about my case in private.
Oh, that's all right. Miss Tuttle's my associate.
Tuttle? You know, you ought to change your...
I'm going to. Next week.
Miss Hastings, I'm very busy, but if you'd care to tell me briefly...
I'll make it as brief as you want. But after I tell you, I'll give you odds you want to hear it in more detail. I want to file a suit against a guy, breach of promise for 200 grand. He's got it. And you can cut yourself in for any part up to 50%. Well, is that brief enough?
You ought to read something beside the sport pages. There's news, honey.
Breach of promise suits are outlawed in this state, Miss Hastings. I'm afraid you can't get financial compensation for whatever you were promised.
Now, wait a minute. Let me get this straight. You mean a guy can take me around, tell me he's not married, promise me the moon with a blue ribbon around it, get me to quit my job so I can spend more time with him, and then just kiss me off and not pay for it? I don't believe it.
Well, it's true, and I'm still not interested.
Well, maybe if I tell you who this fool-pitching pirate is, you will be.
Miss Meredith told you she isn't interested, and she doesn't want to know his name.
She already knows his name. It's her husband. Here. Read those. Some long winter evening. Beside the fireplace.
You've got a 3 count to get your tail feathers through that door.
See? I told you I had a case. Oh, yes. And like I promised, cut yourself in for 50% of what I got.
Eve, darling, you're not going to let that little gold digger upset you.
I'm going home, Phil. Call the base and locate Steve. No. You come with me. I don't want to be alone. The two-headed personality's a little confused.
Oh, mademoiselle, for moment is parlez-vous. Mademoiselle, for moment is parlez-vous. Oh, mademoiselle, for moment. Hey, is that you, Eve?
Eve! I've been calling you all over town. Where you been? Hi, baby. Hi, Counselor.
Hello, Steve.
Glad you're here. I came home because...
Because, not only do our hearts beat as one, our minds think as one. You knew I was home, didn't you? Ain't it wonderful, this stuff? What's the matter with the judge?
Steve, please listen.
No, first I want you to listen to me. I haven't got much time, and I've got a lot to tell you.
Haven't got much time.
No. I've got my orders. I'm going overseas in 3 days. How do you like that?
Overseas?
Yeah. At last I'm gonna get a chance to shoot at something I can shoot back at me. Now it's your turn. What were you gonna say?
Oh, nothing. Nothing important. In fact, it's so unimportant compared to your news, I've forgotten what it was. Oh, Steve, I'm scared.
Oh, no. None of that. I got a 3 days leave. We can go away someplace. We won't even tell a shyster where we're going. 3 days and 3 nights. Then we'll take 1 minute. The last one. I'll get scared with you. Check?
Check.
He went directly overseas from wherever they were, and you came home alone. You were happy. Everything was right again between you and Steve.
And did that happiness continue?
For a time. You were sure the fault had been all yours. So you closed your law office, quit your practice, and concentrated on being a war wife. You thought the war would be over 5 minutes after Steve got into action, and he'd be home.
Then
one day, a wire came, not from Steve, but about him. The War Department regrets, etc. Shot down in action outside of Paris.
If the court please. This has been a very sentimental recital and probably to the spectators a most interesting one. At least they don't seem as bored as I am. But I'd be most lax in my duty to the state if I didn't again protest the waste of the court's time in this perfectly irrelevant review of the life and times of Stephen Curtis. It's a matter of record that he didn't die in France, but that he lived to return to this country and die at the hands of this defendant.
Your Honor, I move the district attorney's remarks be stricken from the record and that he be reminded this is not the time for summarizing the state's case.
Granted. The district attorney's remarks will be stricken from the record.
But, Your Honor, how long is this resume of a dead man's life to continue?
If the court will permit, I promise to establish the relevancy of Stephen Curtis's life and...
If the court please. Stephen Curtis is dead. He's not on trial here.
Oh, yes, Stephen Curtis is on trial here.
I'm sure I didn't understand you.
I said a dead man is on trial here.
Your Honor.
I'm afraid counsel's statement will require further explanation if the court's to permit this type of testimony to continue.
Your Honor, if I were laying the foundation of a plea of self-defense...
Is the defense pleading self-defense?
Wait and see. I am merely asserting that there are times when the deceased must stand trial beside the defendant. If our plea were to be one of self-defense or even of justifiable homicide, then I submit that it would be necessary to examine the actions of the deceased which led to his death, no matter how far back those actions go.
Very well. Does the state wish to cross-examine?
No questions.
Call Jane Doe to the stand.
Jane Doe. Raise your right hand. Solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
Be seated. State your name, please.
Mrs. Stephen Curtis.
Your Honor. Your Honor, I'm not opposed to a few theatrics in the courtroom. But before the witness tries to convince us that I'm Jane Doe, defense counsel is Arnold Matson, and Mr. Hilton here is Napoleon, I think she should be reminded that she's under oath.
Will you tell the court what this is?
It is a marriage certificate certifying to the marriage of Annette Dubois and Stephen Curtis in France.
I wish to enter it in evidence.
Enter it. Mark it Defense Exhibit A.
So, not knowing Stephen Curtis was already married, you thought your name to be Mrs. Stephen Curtis. Are you ready now to tell us your true name, Jane Doe?
Yes, Annette Dubois.
What was the answer?
Annette Dubois. So Jane Doe is no more. You are now trying a girl...
Objection?
Sustained. You're questioning a witness.
Oh, I'm sorry. But if there's no objection, hereafter I shall refer to the defendant as Annette Dubois and not Jane Doe.
Proceed.
Tell us, Annette, when and where did you first meet Stephen Curtis?
It was soon after the Allies landed in Normandy. I lived with my brother, Robert, on a small farm outside Paris. On the day when I met him, the Americans and British were raiding the tank factories. I was terrified, but Robert was not. We were returning from the factory where my brother and I had to work. An old injury kept him from active duty in the war.
down. Be careful.
Look at them. They are not being careful up there. Give it to them, Americans! That one goes after the gunners like a wasp! He's hit and he's too low to jump!
Watch out, Robert!
They've got to get him out! Go back, it might explode! Let's go.
Robert!
It's all right. Hurry before he comes back.
Are you all right?
Yeah, just a knock on my head, but your friend, he's not doing so good.
My brother. Let's go through here. Herr Leutnant. You're looking for an American flyer?
Yeah?
He is in there. He was hurt. He came here.
Folgen Sie mir. Get up. Get up! Get up! He's dead.
Well, it's one less of them to worry about.
Shall we take the body?
No, let her bury him. She can get help. That's for being a good collaborationist.
Thanks to both of you.
He always wanted to be a soldier.
And what about Julien, I think you call him?
Julien?
The photograph you hid when the Germans came in. Were you sweethearts before you met Stephen Curtis?
Well, in school, when we were children, you understand. We always said we were engaged.
Did you see him again?
No. I heard he was a prisoner in one of those camps. Hardly anyone ever came back from there. I didn't see him again, no.
Well, what is it?
I have a message, Your Honor, for Mrs. Curtis. I mean, Miss Meredith.
Your Honor, I should like to interrupt my client's testimony and ask for a recess.
I object, Your Honor. This testimony is taking long enough as it is without recessing every 10 minutes. The witness seems perfectly able to continue.
All right, all right. Give counsel a chance to state a reason.
If the court please, I'd like to state it in chambers.
Very well. Court will recess for 5 minutes.
All right, Miss Meredith.
Judge Bertrand, I've just received word that an epidemic broke out in the children's hospital and my client's baby is stricken.
Oh, now, that's too bad. Serious?
Yes.
I'm terribly sorry, Eve.
I'd like to ask for an adjournment so that she may go to the hospital.
That'll mean several hours' delay. Let's check first and see how serious it is.
Mr. Matson, several babies have already died.
It's not going to hurt us to wait a while.
Annette, do you hear me? Do you understand what I'm saying? Nothing in the world can bring your baby back. If grief could, mine and yours would have brought him back 1,000 times over. So now all we can do is try to save you. You've got to go back on that stand and tell the rest. You've got to. Right now, you're not capable of thinking or protecting yourself. So you've got to trust me, Annette. You must. Promise you'll help me. You will go back on the stand, won't you, Annette?
How is she? Won't talk at all? She'll have to snap out of it before the court reconvenes.
She'll have to, but she won't. She just sits there staring.
Eve, if that girl doesn't go back on the stand, you're a dead duck.
I've tried every argument I can think of.
I don't want to persecute her, Eve. She's paid quite a price already. I think Judge Bertrand will accept a plea of second-degree murder.
Put that girl in prison for the rest of her life.
That's better than the chair.
Not for her, it isn't. She'd rather be with her baby.
Giving up, Eve?
Never.
Hear ye, hear ye. Trial term, part 4, Court of General Sessions is now in session. Judge John C. Bertrand presiding. Be seated.
Is the defense ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Your client is ready to resume her testimony?
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, proceed.
My associate counsel.
Your Honor, I think the defense counsel is merely stalling for time. Her client has no intention of taking the stand again.
If Your Honor, please,
I think the district attorney is entitled to an answer. Are you intentionally delaying this trial?
No. Well, in a way, yes, Your Honor.
Why?
Well, last night there was a storm.
A storm? Where?
Over the Atlantic.
Your Honor, I object.
Object to what?
To defense counsel trying to delay this hearing until the storm over the Atlantic quiets down.
Sustained.
Oh, the storm has quieted down, Your Honor. Your Honor, I'm sorry for the disturbance, and I ask the court's permission to postpone the resumption of the defendant's testimony and place another witness on the stand at this time.
Does the state object to that?
No objection.
Is Julien Auer in the courtroom?
Julian Aubert.
I found him. Why did you bring him here? I'll let him tell you.
Raise your right hand. You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do. Be seated, please.
State your name and address, please.
Julien Auber, Paris, France.
You are acquainted with the defendant, Mr. Auber?
Yes. I have known her since she was a little girl.
Do you know anything about the trouble she's in?
Only what you told me when you called me in France, and what Miss Tuttle told me on the way from the airport.
You were childhood sweethearts.
Objection. Leading question.
Sustained.
What was your relationship with the defendant before you went to war?
We were childhood sweethearts.
Do you remember giving her a photograph before you went away?
Yes, I thought... Yes, I gave her a photograph.
Did you write something on it? And if you did, do you remember what it was?
Attends-moi, ma chérie. I mean, wait for me, my dearest.
Tell me, Mr. Auber, Julien, are you bitter because she didn't wait?
Bitter? Bitter that she found someone else? Of course not.
In spite of the fact that someone stole her from you, married your sweetheart, you still love her, don't you, Julien Auber?
Objection. Defense counsel persists in putting words in the witness's mouth.
Sustained. Don't answer.
Don't answer? But why? Why can't I say that I love her? Why do you object? It's the truth. I do.
I can't tolerate any more emotional outbursts in this courtroom. Proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Why did you fly to this country when I called you, Mr. Auber?
I came to take Annette home.
Do you realize that unless she can be persuaded to testify in her own behalf, she'll never return home?
Yes.
Have you any idea why she won't testify now that you are here?
Of course I know why she won't testify.
now that I am here. She heard me say that I wanted to take her home, where all this would be a bad, forgotten dream. Yet she thinks that if she does talk, and if I am forced to listen, I wouldn't want to take her home. It isn't true. It isn't true, Annette. Doesn't she realize that I can be hurt now, after the war, after those years in prison camp? Doesn't she know that I can understand about the loneliness that made her turn to someone else? I learned about loneliness in prison.
Mrs. Curtis. Mrs. Curtis.
Your Honor, my client is ready to take the stand again.
Does the state wish to cross-examine?
No. No questions.
I'm going to ask you to go back now, Annette, and tell us of the time, well, after you and your brother rescued Stephen Curtis.
That night, Father Martin and I buried Robert.
And what of Stephen Curtis? What did you do about him?
The Allies were nearing Paris, and the Germans were everywhere. There was no chance to get him out, so Father Martin and I hid him. The underground helped.
And, you fell in love with him?
Well, Robert was the last of my family. When he died, and with Julien gone, it seemed like I had no one. Then one day, Stephen took me in his arms, and I thought I had everyone.
Happy?
Yes, Steve. Until I think of the day when you leave and go back to America.
Are you kidding? After I cracked up a $90,000 airplane just to find you?
It hasn't been too bad. Hiding all the time, all these days.
Bad? It's been wonderful. With me living in my own little chicken coop and you. This kind of war came over to fight. That right, Julian? Say, that guy's always looking at me. Why don't you go away? I think he's a very jealous guy.
He's not. He's a very nice guy. Very nice.
I'll settle for the first nice. We'll scratch out the second one. Were you engaged or something?
Yes.
That's the wrong answer.
When he was 7 and I was 5.
Oh. Well, I'll teach him what's wrong with long engagements.
I've got to start getting dinner.
Break open a bottle of wine and drink our dinner.
Oh, no, you've talked me into that once. And I had to lock you in the chicken house. You thought you could fly without an airplane.
Well, I flew as high as I could without a plane, didn't I? How about it? A bottle of vin.
Besides, Father Martin and probably Maria and Francois are coming for dinner. And they want something more than just wine.
Those Americans are throwing a lot of the good Lord's metal in our direction tonight.
They can't throw too much to suit me.
Won't be long now. Flying forts soften them up for the last push.
1 minute, I'm afraid those Americans will come too close. And the next minute, I'm afraid they won't come close enough.
What's the matter with Annette? Never see her to be scared of a close one before.
I don't think it was the bomb that scared her.
Not the bomb? Well, what's it?
The Americans only a few miles from Paris. We'll soon lose the starboarder in our chicken coop. Hey, Annette.
Chickens will miss me. Annette won't.
I won't miss you when you go back to America. Stephen.
Of course not. I'm taking you with me. Oh, it's going to be tough on La Belle, France, with me taking one of her favorite daughters. But I need you. New York needs you. You'll knock 'em dead.
Watch out for these soldiers and their talk, Annette. After the last war, 20 girls from the village came to me and wanted to become nuns.
But I'm not just talking.
Does he mean they're engaged?
I don't know. Does he?
Of course. What else could I mean?
Oh, wonderful, Annette. When will the wedding be?
Oh, now, just a minute.
Minutes are scarce in days like this, Stephen. Make it soon.
Francois, don't coax him to marry me.
Oh, I'm not being coaxed. It'll be soon. As soon as possible.
It cannot be any sooner than tonight.
Tonight? Well, why'd you give the girl a chance to think? After all, she might change her mind.
Why, Stephen?
No, of course not. Well, it's one thing. You certainly can't get the license tonight.
Oh, you can. Francois here is a district clerk. And for an ally, anything is possible. Consider the banns published and approved.
Voila! We're going to have a wedding.
Bravo, bravo.
Bon
sang. À la santé.
Merci bien.
À la santé.
I now pronounce you man and wife.
Congratulations.
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 I'm so happy.
Let me in. It's Duran. The Allied radio has alerted the underground. The Americans are ready to enter Paris.
Vive l'Amérique!
Hi, baby.
They're here, really here. It means the end of the war, doesn't it, Steve?
Sure, it was essential for him after I paved the way.
Oh, darling, don't joke. It's been so.
You can say that again, baby. It's been just so. Well, I gotta run. I only came by for a minute.
How long?
How long what?
Before you come back again? Tonight?
Oh, maybe a little longer than last time. A couple of days or so. Don't look so desperate. I'll be back. Be a good girl.
And did he come back? No, he didn't.
What was the answer?
No, he didn't. Did you hear from him? Yes. He sent someone.
He was unable to return himself, so he retained me to represent him.
But I don't understand. You're sure he's all right? He's ill.
Ill? Oh, no. But you see...
Then he's having trouble with the authorities, explaining for hiding. That's it. It must be.
Well, not exactly, no. He is in trouble, that's true, but it's trouble he caused himself. Nothing official. But he wants you to understand that he blames himself as much as he blames you.
Blames me? For what? Oh, no. Not for marrying me. He loves me.
Well, I'm sure he thought he did. But you know how soldiers are, and if you both had a good time, why, you should be content with your happy memories.
I don't believe it. You're lying.
No need to use this tone with me. I'm only Captain Curtis' legal representative, and I'm just carrying out his instructions. Now then, if you just sign here.
What is that?
Oh, just a legal form, simplified annulment and everything. Then you'll have your freedom. He will have his. Everything will be all right, huh? No harm done anybody.
No, there must be some mistake. Please take me to him.
Ah, that won't be possible. He's gone back to America. Aren't you going to sign this?
No. No, he couldn't have done this.
Oh, don't take it so hard. There's a lot of nice young men left at home.
You're not telling me the truth. I don't believe you. I've got to hear it from him. If I have to, I'll go to America. He expected me to go to America. He said he would see to it that I got there, that he needed me.
Going to America is not so easily done these days. Cost a lot of money. You'd better just forget the whole thing. I will inform you about any legal action.
I've got to see him. If I have to, I'll sell the house.
The house? This house is yours?
Yes.
For a price, you might find someone who could arrange your passport. And for a price, I'm available.
And did this person get you a passport?
Yes, after a long time.
And did he tell you where to find my husband, Mr. Curtis?
Yes, for another 1,000 francs. He left me just enough money for my ticket.
And you came over here with no money and no place to go?
Why, I had a place to go.
Yes?
I'm looking for Mr. Curtis, Mr. Stephen Curtis. Is this his home?
Well, this is his apartment, but he isn't here.
Oh, do you know where I could find him? It's very important.
Well, since you don't know where he is, obviously today he must be playing golf.
Are you his sister?
No relation.
Would it be all right if I waited for him?
Oh, I'm afraid not. I'm just leaving. Look, honey, I don't know what your angle is or what Steve's been up to, but if it's, why don't you just forget it?
Forget what? I have to see him.
But he isn't here.
Oh. Well, then, give him this and ask him to call me at the Hotel Benton. He'll understand.
Well, I hope he remembers which set this is and who he pinned him on.
Operator, I'm expecting a very important call. I wonder... Are you sure? Who is it? Steve!
Hello, Annette.
Hello, Steve. You got my message?
Yeah, I got it, but I don't get it, if you know what I mean. What are you doing here in New York?
I had to see you. You didn't come back.
Yeah, I didn't get any letters, and, well, I decided that you'd lost interest.
But your attorney, Dirac, he said you were through with me. He wanted me to sign a paper.
Why would you believe anything that little crook had to say? I told him to take care of you till I came back or I sent for you.
But, Steve, it was months and months.
Well, so it was months and months. I was fighting a war. I didn't expect you to add to my troubles.
Trouble? I don't want to cause you trouble, Steve. I love you.
Well, if you didn't want to cause me any trouble, you should have stayed where you were until I sent for you.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it's all right. Only you should learn to trust me more than you do.
All right, Steve. I'll go back.
Well, not just a second. Now that you're here, why don't you stay?
You didn't stop loving me, did you?
Are you kidding?
I knew it. You don't want me to go back to you.
Well, Annette...
Everything is all right now that we're together, isn't it?
Well, not exactly. There's a few things have to be ironed out. But I can take care of them. How'd you get here?
Oh, I sold the house and Dirac got me a passport.
Oh, he got it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see it. Annette Fontaine. Why, this thing's forged.
Yes, I know.
Well, what are you so happy about? I'll take it and see if I can get it straightened out.
Oh, Steve, I've been so lonesome.
Oh, look, this is a rat trap. This is no place for romance. Let's get out of here. Pack your things. Let's go.
I didn't unpack. I like our apartment much better. Just seeing it from the outside.
We're not going there either.
Why?
Well, because I've got a much nicer place for you in the country. Where I won't have to share you with 7 million New Yorkers.
Here, boy. Isn't he cute?
Yeah, he's cute when he's wet. Here. Go get it.
Steve, I want a dog.
You want a dog? I'll make a note of it. So far, that includes in the list of things you want a home, 7 kids, a cow, 2 ducks. Now you want room for a dog.
And a husband.
Well, husbands don't take up much room. That reminds me. I gotta go to town tonight.
All right, I'll get ready.
No. I want you to wait right here. I want to take up that business about the passport. Before people see you walking around New York and start asking questions.
Oh no, Steve, I can let you go again.
Will you be sensible and let me run the show?
All right, Steve. Only don't be angry with me.
Well, that's better. Let's not spoil our last day. Up here.
Come in, Steve. It's open.
Miss Fontaine? Annette Fontaine?
Oh, I know. I'm Mrs.
That's what we thought. This is your passport, isn't it?
Yes. Where did you get it? Who are you?
We're from the immigration department.
Immigration department.
So Stephen Curtis made certain this time that you wouldn't bother him further.
I object. Counsel for the defense is interpreting the motives of the deceased to suit herself.
Sustained.
Where did the officers take you when they arrested you?
Ellis Island.
Please describe for the jury what it was like there.
It was a big cage with another smaller one inside it. It was crowded with women. All kinds of women. Waiting to be sent back like me. Laughing, screaming, cursing. Some were insane. Others had just come out of prison. They put me in the cage with the moral cases. It seems someone had suggested I also be held on suspicion of moral turpitude. It was horrible. I went mad. I could hear myself screaming like the others. That was how he kept his promise. That was our house with the 7 kids and the cow and the ducks. That was our honeymoon.
Your witness.
Do you feel able to proceed, Miss Dubois?
Yes.
You say you went mad, insane, in your cell at Ellis Island.
Yes.
Insane.
And yet you had enough wits about you to manage to escape, didn't you? You did escape, didn't you?
Yes, but...
Just yes. That answers my question.
You did escape. Now, will you tell the jury how you contrived your escape so they may judge for themselves whether or not you'd lost your mind?
I don't remember exactly. But I could hear voices. Some of those women in there. Something about a visitor's pass. They said, you look so well dressed, you could make it. I don't remember walking or anything. Just voices.
But you remember why you wanted to get out and where you wanted to go.
I didn't know where I wanted to go. I only wanted to die.
Yes, you've told us that before. Did you go immediately to Stephen Curtis' apartment?
I don't think so. I don't know when it was.
Annette. You promised to wait for him at the beach. Why did you follow me here?
You gave them my passport. They arrested me.
Arrested you? You're crazy.
Yes. Yes, I think I am.
If they arrested you, how did you get here?
I escaped. I had to find out whether you gave it to them. Now I know.
Well, something must have slipped. I was only trying to straighten things out. Then I was going back to the beach to you.
You're afraid your real wife might hear us?
Whatever gave you that idea?
Immigration officers.
All right. Okay. Have it your way. What are you going to do about it?
I should kill you, Stephen. But I can't.
Go ahead, help yourself. They're all loaded. Make it a double ceremony. Solve all our problems.
Is this the weapon you took from that cabinet?
Yes.
I see. And you asked the court to believe that you picked it up, intended to commit suicide, when actually you had no thought other than killing him, did you?
Wait before you answer. Miss Meredith, don't you wish to object to the form of the question?
No objection.
Go ahead, answer the question.
Did you?
Yes, I killed him.
That's all.
I wish to call my next witness.
Proceed, Miss Meredith.
Call Mr. William Hilton.
Mr. William Hilton?
Yes, William Hilton.
William Hilton.
If the court pleases. I think the court has been very lenient in allowing counsel for defense to present her case in any way she saw fit. But I must say...
Well, that's very kind of you, Mr. District Attorney, and I'm sure the court appreciates your approval of its leniency. But do you have any objection to appearing as a witness for the defense?
I object. During the progress of this trial, defense counsel has made no attempt to present relevant evidence, nor to enlighten the court or the jury. but instead has tried to baffle and bewilder these patient ladies and gentlemen with a steady stream of maudlin sentiment, romance in the underground, the whole world war, everything, in fact, except the kitchen sink and a one-armed knife thrower.
Speaking of theatrics, Mr. Madsen, are you stating grounds for an objection or eulogizing defense counsel's court procedure?
Well, certainly not the latter. I object on the grounds that nothing the district attorney could say as a defense witness could possibly be relevant.
How do you know, Mr. Madsen? Objection overruled. Take the stand, Mr. Hilton.
Raise your right hand. You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Be seated. State your name, please.
William Hilton.
Mr. Hilton, I'm going to ask you to recall something I said earlier in this trial in defense of my witness's testimony and its relevancy to this case. That there are times when the deceased must stand trial beside the defendant. Do you remember, Mr. Hilton?
Yes. Yes, I do.
I'm going to ask you to remember it again at the close of your testimony. Now then, I want you to testify as to your actions and whereabouts for, let us say, 2 hours immediately preceding the death of Stephen Curtis.
Well, I suppose you mean from the time Phyllis, Miss Tuttle, that is, came into my office.
Yes, that's what I mean.
Well, it was late afternoon. She was pretty upset.
Upset? You think I'm upset? You should see Eve. In fact, that's what I want you to do. Go right over there.
Now?
Yes, I'm worried about her. Honestly, I am, Bill.
Okay, I'll go over. But why did you have to tell her?
It just slipped out when I saw this. I know that girl, I said. 10 minutes later, she had the story.
Yeah, maybe you talk too much.
I know, but did you ever see her work on a witness?
Come in, the door's open. Why, hello, Mr. Prosecutor. Come in and sit down. Have a drink.
Oh, thanks, Steve. What's the matter with Eve?
Eve? Or nothing. A little upset, I guess.
About what?
Well, not that it's any of the old family friend's business, but it's about me. Why don't you go and talk to her? It might help.
Maybe you better tell me first what you've been up to, Steve.
Why, nothing. Absolutely nothing. But you lawyers have a way of checking up on people.
You know, it's getting so you can't go to the beach anymore for a weekend without the whole town finding out about it.
Steve, won't you ever grow up?
Yeah. Now, look, Bill, you be a nice guy. You go in and talk to Eve and tell her you talk to me. Tell her I'm a nice guy. Tell her I'm different. Tell her I'm changed. Go on now.
Eve? Eve?
Who is it?
It's Bill. May I come in?
No, please.
I'd like to talk to you for just a moment.
Go away, Bill, please. Not now.
Nope, now. Are you decent? Okay, I'll wait. But only for a minute. 1-2-0-5-6 40 50 60. Here I come, ready or not. Eve, what are you trying to do? What's the matter with you?
Then you admit you took a loaded revolver from my hand only a minute before my husband, Stephen Curtis, was slain by this girl.
Yes, but...
Why didn't you reveal it at the first trial?
Why would I?
Why wouldn't you?
Because the fact that I stopped you from taking your own life has no bearing on Stephen Curtis' death.
No. I'm going to ask you to remember now my statement that there are times when the deceased must stand trial beside the defendant. When the district attorney took that gun from my hand, I wasn't going to kill myself. I was going to kill Stephen Curtis. Yes, there, but for the grace of God, said I, facing a verdict of life or death, if the district attorney had arrived at my home only 1 minute later.
Does the state wish to cross-examine?
No questions.
Your Honor, counsel for the defense has established relevancy of all her testimony to the complete satisfaction of the state. It is now this jury's responsibility to determine whether or not the moral guilt for this crime rests on the shoulders of the deceased, Stephen Curtis. The state does not wish to summarize.
Be seated.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, have you reached a verdict?
Yes, we have, Your Honor.
State it.
Not guilty.
Jury be polled.
You'll answer in the order of your seats.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.